Gil Martin here, and welcome everybody to the Daily Packers Post, where we provide in-depth daily coverage of your Green Bay Packers. We'll release new videos every day, Monday through Friday, all year long. Today, we continue our position-by-position analysis of the 2024 Green Bay Packers as we discuss the play of the secondary. How did this group fare under Jeff Hafley and some of the changes he made in their approach? We're going to break all of that down. And just to give you an overview, Hafley, a little more on press coverage off the snap of the ball, wanted his cornerbacks to jam receivers more often. And while he did still predominantly play zone, much like Joe Barry did a year ago, the zone was a lot less passive, and the overall tone of the defense was a lot more aggressive. Now, the Packers defense ranked 13th in the NFL, allowing 215.2 passing yards per game, and they finished third in the league with 17 interceptions after having just 7 in 2023. As for the individual players, we start with Jaire Alexander. Obviously, it wasn't a great year for Alexander. For the second year in a row, only played in 7 games. He did intercept 2 passes, had a pick 6, broke up 7 passes, and recovered a fumble. Not bad for just 7 games. And when you consider that in one of them he only played 10 snaps, it's even more impressive. When he was healthy, he was really good. Opposing quarterbacks completing just 56.7% of their passes when throwing to receivers covered by Alexander. But the knee injury ended his season halfway through. He was always seemingly practicing and close to returning, and then the knee swelled up. And then the comments that Jaire Alexander made at the end of the season really cast some doubt on whether or not he'll be back in Green Bay in 2025. We will have some future videos discussing the possibilities and what's going to happen with Alexander. But right now, obviously, Brian Gutekunst has a major decision to make as to whether or not Alexander should be brought back. And if so, where does he fit in? Because this is now the 3rd time in 4 years that he has missed more games than he has played. With Alexander out of the lineup, Keyshawn Nixon moved from the slot corner to the perimeter. And, he did a really good job. Played in all 17 games, started 15, intercepted 1 pass, forced 3 fumbles, broke up 7 more. And he was also an effective blitzer, both from the slot and from the perimeter, was in on 3 sacks. And Nixon, by far, improved in coverage. Only allowed opposing quarterbacks 57.5% of their passes were completed when throwing to receivers covered by Nixon, and the quarterback rating only 78.9. He was inconsistent at times, but the key for Nixon, you didn't gain a lot of yards after the catch on Keyshawn, and he really did step up and improve his game. Coaching staff loved the fact that he could be versatile and play both slot corner and perimeter corner. And at the end of the season, Nixon basically said, hey, I don't want to return kicks anymore. I want to be cornerback 1, and cornerback 1 doesn't do special teams. So we'll see how that plays out over the course of the next few months before training camp gets underway. But Nixon really seems to be enjoying being a cornerback a lot more than he is a kick returner, even though he has been a 2-time All-Pro while returning kicks. Another player who stepped up was Carrington Valentine. Valentine started 7 games, mostly after Alexander went down, the second-year man. Again, played pretty well, 2 interceptions, 5 pass breakups, and 2 forced fumbles. Now, he likes to be physical off the snap of the ball, and he's still learning. This is only his, second year in the NFL. Less flags this year for pass interference. He sort of was still learning what he could get away with and what will get flagged when it comes to being physical with receivers. He did allow a 76.7% completion percentage, but opposing quarterbacks only had an 80.1 rating when throwing to Valentine. So again, uh, the arrow is pointing up for Carrington Valentine. The question is, how much more can he learn? Meanwhile, you've got Javon Bullard, who played both safety and slot, but we're going to grade him as the slot corner because that clearly was his better position. Started 11 games overall, played in 15, broke up a pass, recovered a fumble, made 90 tackles, including 2 for loss. Better against the run than in pass coverage this past year as a rookie. In fact, allowed opposing quarterbacks to complete 85.2% of their passes. So that's way too high a number. I still love Javon Bullard's potential, but he's got a lot more to learn. And hopefully year 2, he makes a jump and continues to be a productive member of this secondary, playing a bigger role. The starting safeties, well, you had Xavier McKinney, All-Pro, Pro Bowl, had 8 picks, 11 passes defended, 1 sack, 1 fumble recovery, had an interception in each of his first 5 games as a Packer. And then all of a sudden, quarterbacks just weren't throwing the ball to him anymore because they wanted to stay away from the X-Man. He provided leadership. He was hungry and really deserved those all-pro honors that he got. A great free agent signing by Brian Gutekunst. Meanwhile, rookie Evan Williams had a gradual start, but ended up coming on strong. Started 6 games, played 13, had 1 pick, 1 forced fumble, broke up 3 passes, was strong against the run, and again, only 56.7% completion percentage by opposing quarterbacks when they threw to receivers covered by Williams. He missed a few games late, but I am really, really high on Evan Williams' potential. He's a smart, heady player, and I think he has a lot to offer this team. Meanwhile, the backups, well, let's talk about Eric Stokes. He started 7 games, played in 17. Stokes, you know what? He didn't intercept a pass. He didn't break up any passes, but he stayed healthy this year, which he struggled to do in the past. And you know what? At this point, injuries really seem to have robbed him of some confidence, seem to have robbed him of some of his speed, and his twitch. But at the same time, he played decently as a backup. And the question now becomes, he's an unrestricted free agent. I don't think he'll be back. I think he needs a change of scenery. If they do re-sign him to add some depth, I wouldn't be upset, assuming they don't overpay. But Stokes did his job as a backup member of the secondary, but as a starter, I think he would leave a lot to be desired. Corey Ballantyne only played 76 total snaps on defense, played in 15 games, made 6 total tackles, but mostly excelled on special teams. He does provide depth and experience in the secondary. Plus, he can do the job on special teams. He's also unrestricted. We don't know if Ballantyne is back. Robert Rochelle only played on special teams, played in 11 games. He is also an unrestricted free agent. If he comes back, again, it would primarily be to help out with special teams. And, that's going to be a decision that Gutekunst has to make. He's there. He's experienced. He is solid on special teams, but, not really getting the job done as a member of the secondary. Zane Anderson, backup safety, also a special teams ace, played well in a couple of games when he was given the chance to start, had his first career interception, broke up 2 passes. I liked what he did, and then he got hurt, unfortunately. So hopefully Anderson will be back. I liked the way he contributed. Kind of surprised me, a pleasant surprise in the secondary. You had 2 rookies who, one who played, one who spent the year on the practice squad. Keaton Oladapo played in 9 games, 68 snaps on defense, 65 on special teams. You hope to see more from him in year 2. This was mostly a redshirt year for Oladapo, but he did play a little bit more late in the season, and hopefully he is ready for his sophomore year in the NFL. And then Kalen King, he was on the practice squad all year, 7th-round pick out of Penn State. Kind of disappointing that he fell all the way to the 7th round and had some inconsistent moments in training camp. Again, we'll see if King can take a step forward and fight for a roster spot in 2025. Overall, there was improvement in the secondary. Xavier McKinney and the 2 rookies, Evan Williams and Javon Bullard, really helped this unit, plus the growth from Keyshawn Nixon, but they really did miss a healthy Jaire Alexander. Overall, I gave the secondary a B for what they did this year. And I think this is a position that Gutekunst will have to fortify, especially cornerback, whether it's in the draft, free agency, via trade, or some combination thereof. So a B for the Packers secondary in 2024. Let us know what you think. Feel free to give your grade in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a new episode as soon as it drops. And check out our website at thepackerspost.com, where we'll have daily in-depth articles about the Green Bay Packers. I'm Gil Martin. Thank you so much for watching the Daily Packers Post. Have a great day. And of course, go Pack Go.